Sneaker world, what is up, man? It's your boy JT the Cool Soul, and you are back to the Sneaker Guy podcast. So, I got a very special episode I'm doing today. Today, we gonna show love to the Chi-Town hero himself, D Rose, man. Now, if you all know, Derrick Rose has announced that he's retiring from the game of basketball, man. Like, if you know, you know. Like, when he was on the court, straight monster. Like, you couldn't stop him. It was nothing you could do standing in front of him. He was just a straight bucket getter. And we also know he had a decent run, a good run, when it came to his shoes with Adidas. Now, today, I'm going to just take you through some of his Adidas shoes, and we just going to go back down memory lane with him, go back through, games he played in them, what was happening in this shoe, what was the temperature like when these shoes is out. So we going to first start with the D Rose 2.5. Then I'm going to take y'all down with the D Rose 3.5. And then we're going to get into the D Rose 4s. So, with the first one, we're going to start it out with the D Rose 2.5. Now, we all know during this time, this is like 2011. So, at this time, this is MVP D Rose with this shoe. Now, mind you, this shoe right here pretty much was made off of a Chinese hero. You know what I'm saying? Like a war hero. So, that's why I kind of got this olive look with the little Chinese writing on it, because it was pretty much, like I say, it's based off of a war hero. And we pretty much know when it came to hooping, D Rose was all for the smoke, all for the war of it, bro. Like, I thought this was a good shoe. Now, granted, I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, Adidas is like doing it like Nike. Like, I'm not going to say they was up to that top tier, but to say D Rose was the face of Adidas, I think they was going in the right direction. Like I say, the olive on here was dope. The suede on here was pretty good suede to me. Like, I thought it was a good taste. Then for them to just add like the little small details of, just the Chinese lettering, I thought that was a great play. Now, from what I read and what I know, they say it was a Chinese exclusive. Now, mind you, it did still come over here to the States. They said only a few pair came, and I happened to get my hands on one of them. Like I say, overall, I thought it was a good shoe. I thought it was dope to say at this time frame, he was in his MVP form. I thought that was great. You know what I'm saying? To put the red and the olive together, that really played a dope part. Just to even put the little, I ain't gonna say it was fur, but just to put that little fur look on the inside, I kind of felt it was like, you know how the war heroes was wearing them type of helmets. So it was like, oh, this was the fur in it to keep them warm. So that played a part. Like, all of the little details they put on the shoe, I think made this sneaker what it is. Do I think it was a super hit to everybody? No. But if you was from the Midwest, everybody had love for D Rose. Like, what he brought to the city, it was something huge. Now, mind you, I'm from Gary. Like I always tell y'all, we right next door to Chicago. So we was watching D Rose get busy night in and night out. He pretty much was giving us that Jordan effect. Now, I'm not saying he is Jordan, but he was giving us that feeling and that effect again that we seen from Jordan. So to have Adidas really much give him his own go of a shoe, I thought it was great. Like, that's what made me cop these shoes, because I'm like, he from the city, he next door. You gonna show love to the hometown kids. So with these, I thought they did excellent. So then we got to the 3.5. Now, for me, this is probably one of my favorites out of them. Now, the reason why I love this, because this one to me, it just screamed the Chicago kid. Now, by this time, like I said, he in his MVP bag, he balling out. Like, we all know D Rose was quick. So when they made this shoe to me, you could just tell that's what they had in mind. Cause it's like when you see like what I call the matrix effect in the shoe, I thought that was dope about it. They put good leather on here. At this point, now they're starting to use the D Rose logo. So now you're seeing the rose with his name and initial in it. That's when you know, like, okay, Adidas is now really pushing this kid as, oh, he's the center face. Now, for you kids today, y'all gonna say Anthony Edwards is the king and he's the face of Adidas, which is true. But before there was an Ant-Man, it was D Rose. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, Adidas was using him as the face and as the pushing point for Adidas. And to me, you had a legend, bro. Like that's what made him so great and so good, bro. Like he just was such a humble dude. And to have a sneaker to me that just described him with this one, I was like, okay, this is Chicago. This is D Rose. This is what we know. And then, like you say, for it to have in the inside rooted in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know Chicago got a different type of love for D Rose, bro. Like, to them, he gonna always be that legend to them. Even to me. You know what I'm saying? For me not to be from Chicago, he's a legend in my book. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I think when I look at this shoe, and I've even said this in a previous video, it almost reminds me of the Air Jordan 4 because of the gray with the hint of red, then the cement print at the bottom. Like it just gives you that visual of an Air Jordan 4. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of felt that's maybe what Adidas was going at, and I could be totally wrong about that. Like they probably weren't thinking that at all, but to give it that look and feel of like, oh, it got hints of the Air Jordan 4, and then for Mike to be playing in Chicago, we all know 4s is a legendary top 5 shoe. We don't ever have to have that argument. If you don't got the 4s, really, if you don't got the 4s in your top 4 to top 3, you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be no lower than 4. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that good of a shoe. So for Adidas to somewhat take, I say, a classic look, put it to an Adidas shoe and make it his own, I thought that was dope. Like I say, now the leather on here is dope. This little matrix gate on here and the whole swindle of it going into the D Rose symbol, I thought was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, this was one of them shoes that I think a lot of people slept on. Now, granted, you know, people love to say today, oh, basketball shoes ain't a shoe you supposed to just wear. Like, it's a basketball shoe. Like, that's what we was wearing at the time. Like, most of these sneakers that all of y'all like and you know talk about are and still are basketball shoes. Like, that's where the whole sneaker culture, at least for me and for a lot of us, really started. It started with the basketball scene. So when Adidas made this, it's still supposed to be a basketball shoe, but I did say it had more of a, oh, I can casually wear this look. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we all know, to me at least, and for a lot of us, Nike was king, and they was running it for a long time. But when Adidas did get D Rose, they did have a good go. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I'm not saying that it was like top tier, but it was a good start for Adidas to get themselves back going, because before this time, before D Rose even came around, I don't even think Adidas had somebody on the roster that was really like the face and who could like push Adidas culture forward. So when he came along, I just think the storyline that they gave him and what he was achieving at the time frame was amazing. We talking rookie of the year when he came in the league in 2008. Then the turnaround 2011, winning MVP. Now at this time, the battle of him going against Miami is getting serious. So when we look at this shoe, we just know like, okay, this is a dope looking shoe. It was really for the culture when I looked at it, bro. I thought like, okay, they really trying to figure out how to draw that audience like Nike did. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about the Air Jordan 3, because I always say for me and a lot of my homies, that's really where the story begins. You know, everybody gonna always say, "Oh, the Air Jordan 1 is the beginning of the story," and that's cool. I'm never taking away from that. But I think when we got to the Air Jordan 3, we started to realize a different boom. So I think Adidas was trying to find a way to find that boom for themselves. So when they started to do the D roll sign and kind of push the Adidas sign towards the back, like how Nike did with the Nike Air, I thought like, okay, I see where they trying to go with this. I see the effects they trying to do. And for me, like I say, I thought this was a good staple for the city. Like I say, this one screams Chicago more than the other two. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought like, okay, this was gonna be Adidas Air Jordan 3. Like when I look at these, I'm like, okay, this is really where the story starts. It starts with this shoe. This is the story that Adidas is trying to paint. And I thought that was unique. So then we get to this shoe, the Adidas D Rose 4. Now at this time, this is 2013. We all know Miami and the Chicago Bulls was at a battle every single night in the playoffs. Now, man, I know it's a lot of you LeBron fans in this audience, bro. I get it. That battle with the Heat and the Bulls, it was like pins and needles, man. If you was a D Rose fan and a Bulls fan, you was really in front of your TV, screaming at that TV, wanting D Rose to get the Bulls over that hump with Miami. And man, it didn't happen. Miami and LeBron always found the way to beat the Bulls somehow, bro. But I will say, what I like about the Adidas D Rose 4 in this color wave, it reminds me of South Beach. Like, I just felt like when they put these colors on there, I don't think they was going for that, but I looked at the shoe and was like, man, Miami and the Bulls is battling so much. You had to give D Rose his own South Beach shoe because that to me was like an epic battle. It was almost like watching, if you would say in the earlier times, the Lakers go against Boston, or if you were to say the Bulls going against the Knicks, or in the early '90s the Bulls going against the Pacers. Like that's what made this shoe so dope to me. And like I say, the colors on here was great to put that teal with the coral. I thought that was unique. Now this one is plain, but I think it just did the job it needed to do. Like the suede on here was dope. Like I say, the color combination, I thought that's what really caught my eye with this shoe. Like that's what made me really go after this color in particular. Like all the other colors they had on it was dope, but this one to me stood out so great and so different to where I was like, oh, I gotta have this one. Then I like how they just put the little teeth on the side, which it almost want to remind you of the Adidas sign. You know what I'm saying? It's just in a smaller version of it. I thought that was cool. Like I say, this shoe just reminds me of like a shoe to me with if we talking Air Jordans, because I always refer back to Jordans when we talking. This will remind me of the Air Jordan 12. And the reason I'm saying that is the Air Jordan 12 has such a plain look, but a distinct look also. So when I looked at this shoe, I was like, it's plain, but it just had a good look, especially when you put the right color. So to put that teal here, the coral in the inside and the bottom, and then to split it and put this little beige color behind, I thought was cool. And like I say, I always loved the D Rose logo. Now, mind you, during the time of, the 3.5s and going into the 4s, he also did suffer a major knee injury. Like, honestly, bro, if y'all know sports like I do, if D Rose would have never got that knee injury, I truly believe he could have got the Bulls to a championship, bro. Because you have to understand how he had the city on fire. Like every night we was tuned in to see where D Rose was gonna get us to. And man, when he got them injuries, bro, it just set us back so far, bro. Like I said, I've been rocking with the Bulls since Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Always been a Bulls fan. I am also a Lakers fan. No people be like, but you rock with Lakers and Kobe Bryant. Yeah, I was also a Kobe Bryant and Lakers fan. Like I'm not gonna lie about that. But I did rock with the Bulls and I still do. So when it came to this shoe and this shoe, we did see him injured at that time frame. But still indeed, this was a great shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the color combination was super tremendous. The feel and how it is, it's a good feeling shoe. Like if I'm going off of all three of these, and you just say you finna go hoop, what shoe would you pick? I'm gonna say this one. This probably is the most comfortable hoop shoe out of the three. This shoe is probably the dopest, but it is kind of snug. Like it's not it's not the greatest feeling shoe on your foot, but it's not the worst. And I ain't gonna lie, this one might be the worst feeling out of the three. You know what I'm saying? Now, for me, if I'm rating these shoes based off what's the best out of the three, I'm gonna go with the Chicago's, bro. Like the hometowns. Like I say, is this one just it feels so special to me because like I said, it just reminds me of an Air Jordan 4. Like it reminds me of the Cement 4s. Like it gives me that same feeling. Now, granted, if I pull out the Cement 4s and you say, and you put them next to this, you say, well, which one would you go for? Of course, I'm gonna go for the Cement 4s. That's blatantly obvious, bro. I'm an Air Jordan fanatic. Like that's a fact. But to see Adidas really try to put their best foot forward to give him a great run and great signature shoes and to tell a story, I thought that was dope. To go from War Hero in this one to go to the Chicago hometown kid in this one and to say this is the battle of Chicago and South Beach, I thought that was very unique. Like I say, all of these play a unique part of the D Rose story. And to see what he's done for the league, what he's shown, you know, that you can be just coming from Chicago or the Midwest, I thought that was great. You know, like I said, I wish the story could have ended totally different. I wish that he could have played way longer. I wish that he could have stayed in Chicago, and I wish he could have brought them at least 1 to 2 championships, bro. One would have really been great. You know, two would have been like, all right, that boy solidifying himself. But if he could have just got that one, bro, like that would have, to me, put him in a different record book than most. You know what I'm saying? And to bring another one to Chicago when we haven't seen that since Mike. You know what I'm saying? But he still brought that thrill and energy. And to see him do it in such a dope way and to see Adidas paint the picture the same way Nike was painting the picture with Jordan. Now, once again, I'm not comparing the two. All I'm saying is Adidas have found their footing. You know what I'm saying? And to see how it started and to see how it was going towards the end, I think that was still dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Adidas did very well. Like, the designers they had for all three of these shoes were great. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I want to say D Rose left such an impact on the game of basketball and during his time, and to have three great signature shoes, you know what I'm saying, to leave as something that we could see get re-retro down the line. Like, I definitely would love to see these get re-retro, you know, come out in a whole different color, probably even to see it in dope collabs. Like, I'm always saying, I would love to see some of the collab people we love probably redo the shoe. Like, let's just say, you know, I'm always say, oh, what if James Whitner got a chance to do an Adidas D Rose 2.5, how would that look? Or, oh, let's just say if at the time, Virgil got to do the Adidas fours. Like, even though I know all these people are head on Nike people, and I get that. But if we can get to see new up and coming collab people do the Adidas fours or do, what I'm saying, the 3.5, or even if we were to get to see them come back and do the 2.5, I think that's still dope. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, like I say, I got this ranked number one. This will be ranked number two. Like I said, I would have to put this at number three. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if we're going off of comfort wise, the better feel, I'm going to go with this one. You know what I'm saying? If we're going, like I say, just off look wise, this one. And okay, for this one, I'm just going to say it got the better storytelling. You know what I'm saying? To say, it's based off a Chinese war hero. Like I say, I like how they, played the little Chinese symbols on the back of it with the red. I just thought this one had the better story. It's not the better looker, but I liked it based off of the storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that can sometimes be enough. And it could be me just being biased and saying I'm a D Rose fan. So I bought this strictly off of being a D Rose fan and a sneaker fan, bro. Like to see somebody from, I don't want to say your neck of the woods, but your next door, and his grind and his story. Like, I was buying it off of love, bro. Like, all of these, you know what I'm saying? They all played a special part, you know what I'm saying, in my sneaker collection. And these are three shoes I probably would never get rid of because of the love that I got for D Rose. Like I say, what he did for the city, he put on for the city. Like I say, I got to watch that man play night in and night out. I've even went to games and seen him play. And when I say that boy is like a flash on the court, he was a flash on the court, man. So I want to just say salute to you, D Rose, man. You did a hell of a job when it came to playing, bro. You always went out there and gave it your all. And I do want to commend Adidas for sticking by your side through all of this, through your injuries, through them trading you, to just people just being like, he ain't the same D Rose no more. And I get it. Like, that knee injury changed everything. But if you know the D Rose from that Chicago time and during this, 2011, 2012 to 2013, even with the knee injury, because that's in between this time, the show he put on night in and night out. And to see him do it in these shoes, bro, I commend you. True love, hope. Your next endeavors of whatever you decide to do, I hope it be the best and the greatest for you. So y'all let me know, man. What do you think about any of them? What do you think about the 2.5s, the 3.5s, or the 4s? Is it some shoes you like? Man, JT the Cool Soul, I wouldn't have never bought none of them. And that's cool, bro. You have every right to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Because there's shoes that people buy that I don't like. There's shoes that I buy that people don't like. That's not what you base your shoe collection off of. You base your shoe collection off of things you love and how the story made you feel. And like I said, to watch D Rose night in and night out and to see him in all three of these transformation of shoes, I had to show love, bro. So, let me know. Is the 2.5s is what you rocking with? Is it the 3.5s or is it the 4s? Like I say, you should at least say you rocking with the 3.5, bro. Because like I say, I just think this is an overall dope shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me it don't have at least something about it you like, yeah, I could have dealt with those. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying like, you could put on your best, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you could do a little more with these and even these. You know what I'm saying? Even though this one might be the better one, but even with these, like I say, it still got just a calm, cool look. But it also, I just feel like when you turn it to the side, it gives you a different pizzazz to it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, let me know in the comments, bro, how you feel about the sneakers. Even tell me, your D-Rose story. Was he a person you was rocking with? I feel like if you was from the Midwest, if you was from Indiana, Gary, Indiana to Chicago, you was rocking with D Rose, man. I don't know too many people that can be like, nah, man, I wasn't messing with D Rose. He really wasn't that dope. You'll be lying to yourself. Like, D Rose really put on, Adidas really put on for D Rose. Like, they didn't get to have the full longevity Cinderella story that Jordan and Nike had, but they did put a staple out here to have somewhat of a story for him. You know what I'm saying? So when we able to look back at his career and what he did for basketball, us as sneakerheads, I would still be able to look back at his sneakers and be like, yeah, you left a small staple in the sneaker community for us. So for me, I commend you, D Rose, man. Thanks for everything you did for the Bulls, all the battles, everything, man. And Adidas, thanks for the 3 dope shoes, man. So, like I say, this was just a small special episode I was doing for D Rose for today. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Now I'm out of here. Peace. Thanks for tuning in to the Sneaker Guy Podcast. I'm your host, JT the Cool Soul, and I'll catch you later.